Okay, it says we are live, and now we have to just wait for people to get here because we just gotta wait for people to get here. Oh, 8 people on. Shit. Hey, how y'all doing out there? Say something in these motherfucking comments. Damn, that was fast. Shit. As soon as we clicked it, I saw 8. Shit. How y'all doing? Yes, I'm back, bitch, and I'm ready to do some motherfucking readings. Do y'all remember me? DJ Psychic Messy. I ain't y'all remember me? Do y'all remember me? Hit the motherfucking skull emoji if y'all remember DJ Psychic Messy. We are here tonight to edutain y'all asses. And yes, I will be doing some motherfucking readings, guys. I will be doing some motherfucking readings. Are y'all ready for these celebrity readings tonight? I am doing readings on YSL and August Alsina. I'm joined with my lovely co-host, Houngan Soleil, who will be doing live readings on Kyrie, Irving, and Brittany Griner. So yes, please hit those skull emojis. Show me your support. We're going to get started in just a second. We are waiting on everybody to get here. I know y'all miss me. I know y'all miss seeing this face. So what's up? What's up, everybody out there? And how have y'all been enjoying that content so far? Because I have released so much content. We've had a new video coming out every day. Every day we've had new content coming out, and we are not going to stop. We are back. We are back. We are back. Hello, Shantae Stevens. And let us know where y'all are logging in from. I am in Anchorage, Alaska. I'm in Anchorage, Alaska. And Soleil is in Bangladesh.
Yes, love it over here.
Where y'all chiming in from? Hello, Lizzie S. Y'all, we're gonna get started in just a few minutes. We waiting on everybody to get up in here. Hello, Shandia Baker. If you're new here, let us know. Have you ever listened to any of our celebrity readings? Oh, somebody said, I miss y'all. And then they hit the skulls and the scales. Well, we got somebody coming in from Houston, Texas. What's up, Beyonce? Are you a fan of Beyonce? Miss K501. We got Kat coming up, Atlanta, Georgia. Are you a housewife of Atlanta? Do you be throwing drinks in people's faces? Do you run across the bar barefoot with ashy ass feet because you're ready to take out a bum bitch? Let's see. Ayaya and Avaya 214 is new. Hey, you're new. Hello, Denisha Nunn. You got to get rid of that slave name. Hey, Denisha. Lizzie S. from Waldorf, Maryland. Why have I've heard Waldorf, Maryland, heard of that place before? I don't know anything about Maryland. I don't have any good jokes about, good jokes for y'all other than, the name of the state is Maryland. Mary's Land. Karen Land. Laughing my ass off, not slave name. Look, when you get initiated, you gotta get rid of this slave name, y'all. You have to give power to your new name. You gotta give it power in all ways. Hey, we got Chelsea from Houston. We got another Beyonce fan up in here. But for real, how are y'all doing? Let me see if I can get more people from our Discord to join. Oh shoot, I was supposed to get the Discord link for them. I didn't even share it. Oh shit.
For those of you who are tuned in and who are part of the Discord, put the Discord link in the comments. That would be really helpful for us.
Yes. Okay, so who else we got? We got Lucy just hitting us with the skull. We got 24 people on. We're about ready to get started in just a second. But I'm not going to get started until y'all hit that like button on this video. And in addition to that, we're not getting started with the motherfucking thing until y'all give me my motherfucking skull emojis. I need my energy. I need my energy, guys. I need my energy. How are y'all doing tonight? hit the skull emoji if y'all are ready for us to get started. We won't get started without the energy. We got to get the energy up. Y'all are low energy tonight. Y'all come through with the love offerings too. Oh yes, come through with the love offerings. Let me make sure I add that in. Hold on. Is your name Larissa Brown on Cash App? $sign Larissa Brown?
Yes, it is.
Yes, hit us with these love donations. Yes, hit us with love donations because we're here to entertain y'all. Okay. I see all these skulls. I see them all. I seize them. And y'all are ready for the mess. Hell, I'm ready for the mess. Yes, it is so good to see everybody. It's so good to see everybody. So, like I said, I'm going to be doing YSL in August Alsina. And I know y'all want to know what's going on with August Alsina. And I know y'all want to know what's going on with YSL. I'm going to do a lengthier YSL reading. So I'm going to just try to scratch the surface tonight with what I get and what I see. You love my onesie. Oh, yeah. I was going to, shit, I could have been Pikachu tonight. I got a Pikachu onesie, but I don't wear it that often. Sweet Integrity. Hey, Sweet Integrity. Hello, Shantae. Hello, Shandia. Y'all's energy is still too low for me. Y'all's energy is still too low. We're supposed to have much more support than this. Where is everybody from our Discord too? Let me see.
Peace and health to you, Sunflower Sneed. Who else is in here?
Love and Fruitful Places. I like that name. Love and Fruitful Places. Y'all got love in y'all's womb. That's my little dirty mind was going towards. Love and Fruitful Places. Definitely. Thank you for the love and Fruitful Places. B-Roll TV. Hey. Cherries, baby. In case y'all haven't noticed, we're going to get started at the 9 o'clock mark to get it popping. We're just waiting on y'all to come up in here and get settled. Make sure y'all got y'all's wine and popcorn. Hey, Monze Labalin. Hello, Monze Labalin. Texas in the house. We got so many people from Texas.
I know.
Oh, it's my girl, Indris. Hey, Indris. With my girl, Tasha. African Shea Butter. We miss you too. And we are back. Whew. Giving y'all just a couple more minutes before I get started. And then I'm gonna murder Soleil. She wasn't ready.
I don't know about all that, sir. I'm gonna put up a fight.
This is a psychic reading battle, y'all. And you cannot be on both of our sides. You got to pick a side. You have to pick a side. You have to be Team Skull or Team Scales. You cannot be on both our teams. So go ahead and pick a side. Either you on Dr. Quintari Shakir's side or you're on Hunsi Soleil's side. Which one's it going to be? Which one you going to do? Y'all live for these battles. Oh yeah, because I came to win. That's the thing is I came to win. I didn't come to lose. I came to win. Up. Mm-hmm. We'll get started in 2 minutes, guys. 2 minutes and counting. Hello, passion fruits. Everybody, please like our video. We're going to get started in about 2 minutes. Y'all are about to witness a virtual murder scene. I kill it tonight.
That is hilarious. Hey, Michaela Rose.
It's the queen. Hey, Queen Michaela Rose. Y'all ain't ready. All right. Well, and here we are. Okay. So, hello, everyone, and thank you all for tuning into our celebrity psychic readings. Wait, let me try that one more time. I forgot that this is not. Hello, everyone, and thank you all for tuning into the reading. I'm going to be your reader for today, Dr. Quintari Shakir, otherwise known as Houngan, joined here with my lovely co-host.
Hi, Hunsi, Soleil. Nice to see you all.
It's nice to see you all again. I know you all have seen so many videos from Soleil. She has literally been killing it for the past 2 weeks on BSN. I'm so glad that she's here with me. And I'm so glad you all came to witness this live crime. Y'all better call the first 48 because I'm about to kill it. We're doing a celebrity psychic reading battle against each other tonight. And we don't really want to waste too much of your time, because we don't want to be on here too long. We already had y'all on here for about 12, 13 minutes, but thank y'all for waiting and getting yourselves together for what we got going tonight. Okay, so with that being said, make sure that you all go to blackspectrumnetwork.com and purchase a private psychic reading from either me or Hunsi Soleil. We are going to be having a psychic fair later on in the month of December. I will be sharing more information about that later in this live. If you're interested in joining our mentorship program, then you can do that by going to our link tree, which is going to be located in the description below. So if any of you all are interested in mentoring under me or Hunsi Soleil, please let us know. If I resonate with you as a teacher, Soleil resonates with you as a teacher, or if anybody at BSN resonates with you, a teacher, please feel free to reach out to us, because we are more than ready to mentor new students. We are master diviners. We are expert magicians. We are phenomenal teachers, all here at Black Spectrum Network. And if you can't reach us at Black Spectrum Network, make sure that you check out the Voodoo Institute. That's VOODOO Institute.com. Voodoo. All right. So I'm not going to waste no time. I am going to go ahead and get started with my motherfucking reading. All right.
Who you doing first, sir?
I'm going to do I'm going to do August Alsina first, and then after that I'm going to do YSL. All right. So I'm going to let Soleil go for a second so that I can take up the full screen because it is all about me. And we're going to allow her to just sit there and just revel in my greatness. All right. So with that being said, if you all are a fan of me, then you need to hit the skull emoji. If you feel like I'm killing this reading, you need to let me know that I'm killing this reading in the comments. Do not just watch this video, but please like the video and let me know in the comments if you are feeling the reading, and then let me know in the comments if you're not feeling this reading. The only way that we're going to be able to deliver more content to you is if you help us to dominate the algorithm. And dominating the algorithm means that you interact in our chat, you interact with us in the comments, and you give us honest feedback. All feedback is greatly appreciated. So I am going to start my reading off by talking about August Alsina. As you all know, I will not be giving my opinions on anything related to August Alsina or any celebrity that I read on, but I'm just going to get into the nitty-gritty of what's been going on with him. So as many of you all may or may not know, I did not know, August Alsina has a boyfriend, and that's it. I ain't really got much else to say. He got a boyfriend. I fuck all the other shit. I don't. If y'all have some conversations in the comments and let me know what y'all think about August Alsina having a boyfriend. But the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to look into August Alsina's energy, just to see what's going on with him in regard to his relationship. Okay, so the first thing that I want to say that I see that August Alsina may have some type of medical condition that he's dealing with. I don't know if it's like a terminal illness or something, but I do see that there's a medical condition that he has been dealing with. I feel like it's hereditary, and it's influencing his motivation to be more honest with himself and to be more honest with the public. He is not that he feels like he's going to pass away or anything, but it's almost like as he's getting older, he's thinking a lot more, he's taking a lot more seriously his health and living his best life. The first card I have is a card for Russian roulette, which is talking about him gambling with a situation that could cause him debt, illness, or insanity. Now, as many of you all know, August Alsina came out of the closet. This particular card is talking about how it is that he has been perhaps feeling suicidal by keeping his sexual orientation to himself. I see that he's actually been quite accepting of what his desires are. However, the gambling roulette card is saying that he was always feeling like a huge risk to express to people that he possesses a same-sex attraction. But also in addition to that, it's talking about him waiting for the right opportunity to receive a high reward as a result of taking this risk. It's also talking about him using this as an opportunity to overshadow different legal problems that he's having in regard to his money or contracts. So it's also saying that this relationship is going to cause him, this relationship that he's in is going to put him further into debt. So this is saying that August Alsina he's a compulsive spender when it comes to how he deals with stress. Like he uses money to deal with stress, and also in his relationship, it's like a large part of how he's able to create harmony in the relationship is by spending money on his partner, or them, you know, materially sharing things with one another. The next card that I have, you all can't see this, but it's my card for buried treasure, which is talking about a love-struck person that's hidden within a tight social circle. So this means that August Alsina has been around this gentleman's friends. And this gentleman has a large group of friends, and perhaps August Alsina had been platonic friends with this person they started off as platonic friends, and it took him a while to come forward and say, hey, I have this attraction to you. I like you, and this is where I want to take things. Now, the buried treasure, along with the Russian roulette card, is talking about him coming out to the person that he came out to was a huge risk for him, because he didn't want the person he came out to, or his current boyfriend, to go around publicizing the relationship before he was ready to publicize the relationship. Now, the Loa Izili Frida is coming through in this reading as well, and talking about August Alsina. With this particular gentleman, he has a very mature sexual attraction to this guy. He thinks he's very beautiful. At the same time, August Alsina has issues with codependency. So this is indicating to me that even though August Alsina has this very deep sexual attraction to this other gentleman, August Alsina is also hoping for this relationship to turn into some type of marriage or an engagement as well. But I don't see that happening. I see that this is actually going to be an unrequited love, because the gentleman that he's in a relationship with is so materialistic. Now, the main challenge or obstacle that August Alsina is going through is his faith. Right now, he has a lack of faith in himself to overcome obstacles in regards to his money. Like I said earlier, I think that according to what these cards are saying, him going public with this relationship is a way to distract people from some financial challenges or legal challenges that he's having right now in his life. It's also speaking about how it is that he needs to have more faith in his ancestral genealogy to remove these obstacles from him. So this is talking about him not praying and meditating. This is also talking about him self-medicating instead of actually facing his problems. Rather than him going into prayer and meditation, he's substances such as weed or alcohol, for example, to achieve a state of enlightenment, to make him feel much better about all the financial pressure that he's under. Now, as a result of him opening up about this relationship, is talking about a serious increase in demand for business. So this is saying that him going public with this relationship is going to open up opportunities and blessings for him to overcome these different financial and legal obstacles that he's facing. Now, it's also talking about him needing to sharpen his relationship strategies, because if he doesn't, he's going to go through a financial drought. This means that he's going to essentially break even. Maybe he might be offered a reality TV contract. He might be on Zeus TV. He might do multiple different media appearances, but there's a huge demand for him to sit down and do interviews. And if he uses his money properly, he can dig himself out of this financial battle that he's going through. But at the same time, when he does acquire this money, he has to make sure that he doesn't give into the materialistic desires of his partner right now. Another thing that I'm seeing here is the card for sex and intimacy, which is talking about August Alsina needing to do some type of candle energy working so that he can banish this feeling of lust and promiscuity. So this means that August Alsina is having a lot of sex with this gentleman. This gentleman is actually lustful. He actually desires money and status from August Alsina. There is sexual chemistry between the both of them, but August Alsina may be looking for this to turn into a real romantic relationship, but I don't really see that happening. At the same time, the reading is then finishing off by saying a large part of why he is going so public with this is because he feels that he has nothing to lose. He may have had some sort of near-death experience, or he may feel like some type of terminal illness or condition that he's dealing with could take him out at some random point in time. Also, at the same time, he might be looking at deaths around him, either deaths in the media or deaths in his family. And these things are influencing him to believe that he needs to go ahead and come out. It's like, this is my last life to live, and who else, and I don't want to live for people who are he doesn't want to live, he wants to live for himself rather than trying to live for the expectations of others. So that's what I see in regard to what's stimulating the relationship. Now, the first, that was my just introductory reading, and let me know if I'm killing this motherfucking reading, okay? Hit the skull emoji if you're enjoying this. Now, I want to know, I saw more business opportunities coming to August Alsina, and I also saw that there's an aura around the relationship where there's unrequited love between August Alsina and this gentleman. So I want to look more into I want to look into the inner contours of the relationship. I want to know more tea about the relationship. And not only that, I want to know, how is this relationship going to affect his music, going to affect his money, and his career. Hit the skull emoji if you're enjoying this reading. And make sure you go to blackspectrumnetwork.com and purchase a private psychic reading from someone at Black Spectrum Network. Let me see. If you are interested in mentorship, also check the Linktree link and submit an application for mentorship. Okay. Okay, so the first row of cards, I have the Seven of Spades, which is speaking about a higher purpose and a miscarriage. So this is not a miscarriage or of a baby, but this is talking about August Alsina. This is talking about August Alsina feeling like this. He doesn't feel like this particular relationship serves a higher purpose, but he feels that him being more honest and expressive with his attraction is helping him to fulfill a higher purpose. The Seven of Spades is also my card for intimidation as well. So this is talking about how he's been wanting to go public with this relationship. He may have been sending signs and signals that this relationship has always existed, but the Seven of Spades is also the card for aborting a mission. So this means that he was too intimidated to go forward with being public. And the reason for that being is because he doesn't have a lot of faith in himself. He doesn't have faith in himself in a relationship. He doesn't trust himself. He second guesses himself, and he can also be compulsive. So he's the sort of person that he gets, if he texts you good morning and you text him back, hey, good afternoon, he gets really nervous. He feels like he might not be able to, he doesn't know how to start a conversation or how to keep the conversation going, because he's like, well, I text you good morning, you waited all this time to text me good evening. What were you doing all this time? And are we on the same wavelength? He's very sensitive. And in this particular relationship, both of them, both he and this other person share a similar way of communicating. I see that both of them are very direct with one another in terms of what they want from each other. Now, the other thing that I'm seeing in this relationship is that August Alsina feels like there's synchronicity between the two of them, that this person could potentially be a soulmate to him, and that God brought him this relationship. He's like, we share a spiritual connection where we are always coming to the same conclusion, and I feel like God is bringing me this relationship for a higher purpose. I can't continue being intimidated by the idea that other people may not like me, may not support me, or this may dig me into a deeper hole financially. He's really trying to overcome these I see financial challenges that he's trying to overcome. We'll get into that in a second. Now, I also have the card for the Ace of Hearts, which is the card for the heart, which is talking about August Alsina has a really deep infatuation with this person. But at the same time, I see that, I don't know if August Alsina has children, but he's hoping that he and this gentleman can get to a place where they have something, where they share something that's going to be long lasting. So that could either mean getting married to each other or having a baby together. Okay, that's what August Alsina is hoping for. But that is also a lot for him to process. And he's intimidated by those goals. But at the same time, I see him aggressively working on being intimidated by those things and really trying to face his fears. So it's like, he's like, I know I'm scared. I know I'm scared to want these things, but I'm brave. And even though I'm scared, I have the courage to act on my fear, is how I see him, is how I'm hearing it. I then have the card for the Ace of Spades, the card for the Four of Spades, the Eight of Hearts. My Ace of Spades card is the card for the Mystic, which is talking about an initiation into a new realm of magic. This particular magic is talking about August Alsina, in him coming out, is talking about him being able to cast a spell on his audience, him being able to cast a spell on people who are watching or viewing him. So this is saying that he's actually he's going to receive a lot of attention for a long time. And it's if he accepts these business opportunities, he will be in the public eye for a while. This is saying that he also is conspiring with a publicist to promote this relationship in a positive way. And also is talking about him taking a new job opportunity because of the relationship, and a job opportunity offering some type of spiritual transformation for him. Now, this ultimately winds up being like August Alsina becomes a better person by him coming out. He starts to become more of a role model in his career, and less of a sycophant and a bugaboo in his relationships. Okay. Now, the next thing that I'm seeing is the card for my Four of Spades, which is talking about possessiveness and restraint. So what we're going to see is that August Alsina is actually very possessive of this particular gentleman, and it's going to be hard for August Alsina to endure that this younger person is going to receive a lot of attention. August Alsina has been through this before, we know, but at the same time, I see that the spirits are saying that August Alsina has to build up his pain tolerance. Like, he's got to become numb to his own insecurities. Like, he needs to know what's for you is for you. And if this relationship is for you, it can't be taken away from you. The next thing that I'm seeing here is that, again, it's talking about possessiveness. It's talking about how it is that August Alsina is mesmerized by this boy's charm. He's extremely magnetized to him. But what the thing is that they're both narcissists. So August Alsina is going to want he's going to want instant gratification. Like, I want you to fall in love with me right now. I want you to come spend time with me right now. I want you to have sex with me right now. I want to go here. I want to do this with you. Especially now that he's taken such a huge risk to come out. It's like, well, we come out in public. In private, I feel a little bit more comfortable stating my needs and desires, and I'm actually getting more adjusted to this idea of committing to you in this way. But this other gentleman, he's a narcissist in the sense that he can get bored. And in him getting bored, he needs material things to keep him to satiate his interests. His boyfriend isn't driven by sex. His boyfriend is driven by material things. Now, I then have my card for theft, the card for emotional regulation, and then the card for real estate. This is talking about August. It's talking about how it is that this gentleman that he's with is an opportunist, and August Alsina needs to be aware that he's leaving himself financially vulnerable to this gentleman taking either. And this is not just talking about money, but it's talking about how it is that August Alsina he can discover within himself really. He can come to these really important conclusions about himself. And these are some teachable moments where he's able to minister to others. These are some really important gems that he can hold on to. If he doesn't share them with the world, he's going to share them with this gentleman that he's in a relationship with, and that could be a waste. So what August Alsina needs to know if he's watching this reading is to minister into your audience, into the people that are listening to you and watching you. Don't try to minister into this person that's in this relationship because you want to make them better. Minister into your audience because they're looking to you for guidance so that they can be made better. So don't so redirect your energy away from your relationship. Stop trying to teach your partner how to be a better partner and teach your audience how to be better partners. And then have the King of Hearts, which is my card for emotional regulation. It's talking about how he can be a very domineering lover, especially if he feels like his partner is losing interest in the relationship. Now, what he needs to be aware of is that the person that you're with has a pietist perspective of what's going on. This person looks up to you, and in addition to that, this person is very attracted to you for what you can do for them, but that doesn't make this any less loving of a relationship. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't see that. I just think that you got to be careful. I think there's probably an age difference between you and this gentleman, and you got to know that if this person's in their 20s, they're still discovering who they are. But I think me and August Alsina are well, shit. Actually, I'm 78, so I don't want to say that we're the same age, but whatever. But my card for real estate is talking about how it is that they're going to move in together. He's going to move this person into his property. And it also talks about this gentleman needing to move in with August Alsina for his own financial gain. And I'm going to look and see what they're talking about, what his boyfriend will receive from this. I have the 8 of clubs, the bishop of clubs, and then the 5 of spades. So the 8 of clubs is talking about nonchalance. So this gentleman is a very scattered thinker, meaning that it's difficult for him to be organized. And I'm saying it is I'm also saying it's kind of difficult for August Alsina to be organized too, but August Alsina just seems to be more disciplined than his partner. Now his partner has the intention to move in so that he can take more advantage of what August Alsina is offering to him, which is money, affection, status, and attention. The love comes last for him. It's like the emotional connection is cool. Like he's cool. For him, it's a best friendship. For August Alsina, this is like a love in a different way. You know, I'm loving on a human being. The final thing, the final card that I have is the card for the 5 of spades, which is talking about a change of lifestyle. So he wants to move in with August Alsina because he feels that this is the next level of evolution in changing his lifestyle. But it's also talking about this gentleman playing chess with August Alsina's emotions too. So we'll see how this relationship plays out. It's really too early to tell, but I can say that the guy he's with has some nebulous intentions. I don't want to say he's not pure-hearted, but they both have different motivations in their relationship. Now, the next thing that I'm going to look at, hit the motherfucking skull emoji, please, and tell me how I'm doing in this goddamn reading, okay? Make sure that you go to blackspectrumnetwork.com and purchase a private psychic reading with one of our lovely staff, or you can go to voodooinstitute.com and purchase a private psychic reading with one of our staff, okay? The next thing I want to know is, I want to know, did Jada and Will know about this? What their reactions was? That's really what I want to get into, okay? So what do y'all think that Jada and Will had to say about this shit? In the words of Alexis Tyler, dick will make you slap somebody, okay? And if you feel like August Alsina got some dick that will make you slap somebody, I want you to hit the hand clap. Well, no, I want you to, if you feel like August Alsina has some dick that'll make you slap somebody, hit the flame emoji. And if you feel like he got some dick that's whack as fuck, hit the shrimp. What y'all think August Alsina dick hitting on? Let me know in the comments. All right, let's see. Okay, so I'm gonna say this. Will Smith didn't know, but I saw in my vision that he and Jada have had some conversations, but Will Smith did not know. Now I'm seeing that August Alsina has expressed this to Jada once before. He's expressed desire that he's had. To he's like, he wouldn't say bisexual. He wouldn't say that, but he would say like, I have these temptations. He's tried to abstain from engaging with another man in that way. Also saying that he's expressed to her that he felt fulfilled in a relationship with her, but at the same time, if he wasn't with her, he probably would experiment. That's how I see him saying it. Now, the other thing that I'm seeing is that he's always felt like an orphan, and he's always felt like he had to be isolated. He had to isolate himself from other people. Like he doesn't deal with large groups of people. I don't see him hanging out with large groups of people. I see him really want to keep to himself. Now, what this means is that I see him having this jealousy that Jada Pinkett had a family, and August Alsina is upset that he's never had a family, and he feels like his sexual orientation would keep him from having the sort of family that he wants, or that because of his sexual orientation, he could end up replicating some of the dysfunction that's in Will Smith and Jada Pinkett's household, if you get what I'm saying. He feels because of his sexual orientation, he could replicate the dynamics of Jada Pinkett and Will Smith's household. That if he had a wife and he has his sexual orientation, that his wife might step out on him. I don't know why his mind works like this, but that's what I see. Now, another thing that I'm seeing is that this has revived tensions between Will and Jada. Right now, I see it as Will and Jada are being very disciplined and not speaking and not saying anything. I see it as Jada has they say that Jada has a tendency to constantly reach out and check in on August. Okay? She still checks in on him, even though sometimes he may not want her to check in on him. The other thing that I'm seeing here is that Jada, if anything, Jada is thinking about trying to reap the benefits of this by trying to maybe perhaps bringing him on the Red Table Talk to discuss this. You know what I'm saying? But it's also saying that she is that's it within her. She's like, I wish I could capitalize on this opportunity. I do want to say something, but I wanted to say something so that it's to my benefit. I then have my 5 of Clubs card, which is talking about an identity crisis, which is essentially saying that Jada has known, or she if she didn't know, she suspected it because he's had these emotional outbursts. And I'm not saying he has bipolar disorder, but he has delivered some quite bipolar experiences to her where he's randomly broken down crying, and when they exchanged when they were exchanging ideas with each other, such as, tell me why you're crying. This is what I think about why you're crying. Tell me why you think you were upset about this. He's expressed this in so many different ways that he's had these feelings, but due to gossip that can come out of the industry, she's chosen not to really entertain that aspect of him. She felt like, you know what, I'm not going to push you over the edge, because she felt like that would just be too much. Like, that's just too much spilling out. There's too much spilling over. She knew how messy things could be, but she encouraged him to be selective about who he told his story to, even though this about what he's been feeling and what he's been desiring has been he's been wanting to say it. He's been wanting to bring it up. But he wants to tell everything about his romantic life, not just with Jada. He's been wanting to talk about his romantic life, period. But that's something that he talked to Jada about a lot. Now, as far as Will goes, it's pretty much saying that Will has peace of mind knowing that August has made this move, and I'm going to see why he has peace of mind knowing this. Okay, the cards, I got the Two of Clubs, the Rook of Diamonds, and the Queen of Hearts. So this is saying that he's at peace because he's like, maybe he's moved on. And Will and Jada have argued about August a lot. Like, they still argue about it. And Will feels like if August Alsina is buried under his own drama, then he's like, well, then he can't bother us. If he got his own thing going on, he can't bother us. But at the same time, Will Smith is side-eyeing the situation because he's like, I feel like this might be a form of emotional manipulation. Like, he's wondering if his wife is blindsided by what's happening. Because he's like, if my wife is blindsided by what's happening, I know that she's going to be curious about his experiences and this new development, and she might reach back out to him, which he doesn't want altogether. At the same time, Will Smith sees August Alsina as an energy vampire. He feels like August Alsina is a crybaby. He feels like August Alsina is a sex fiend, and he just wants the Smith brand to not be associated with what's happening. And he ain't like, but Jada is being real coy and not answering all of Will's questions. So it's like, he wants to know, did you pillow talk with this man about this? Did you know? But at the same time, Jada is very open. She's very accepting. So let me look and see Jada's overall reaction. Right now, Jada's trying to save face for the optics of things. If we see or hear anything from Jada Pinkett or any publicist release things, it's going to be about her perhaps taking on a new acting opportunity or a new production opportunity. It's speaking about her trying to work through the gossip. She's trying to ignore the need to respond. And right now she's like, if it's not about my career, if it's not about if it's not about my career, if it's not about advancing our household, I'm not really certain if I want to publicly respond. But at the same time, Jada Pinkett is double-minded, so she's also thinking to herself, like, but if I could respond, if I did respond, I want to be able to capitalize off of it. How can I respond to make some money? So that's what I see, and that's what I have thus far about the relationship. Let me know if y'all enjoyed that reading, and if I mocked the flow with Soleil's ass. But yeah, that's the reading on August Alsina. Let's see what y'all have to say here. We got Soleil back on the line. Somebody said because he was a little insecure, now he doesn't have to worry about it. Oh, y'all are going to fuck in. Some of y'all said August Alsina ain't got no good dick. Lord, I ain't got the time. Yeah, y'all hit that skull emoji if you team Houngan. Anyway, we're gonna let me know how I did. Let me know if y'all enjoyed that reading. We're gonna toss things back to Hunsi Soleil.
Hi, everybody. Hope you guys are doing good. I think it's hilarious that I'm reading on two sports people tonight because I don't really follow sports like that. But both of these people are going through some pretty tough things. And I think their situations are things that we can really, really learn from. So that's why I wanted to talk about them. I'm going to first start with Kyrie. Again, I'm not a basketball girl. I know very little about this man. All I know about him is that, he dated Kalani at one point and he believes the earth is flat. Other than that, everything that I've learned about him over the past 2 weeks in terms of what's happening with the controversy, that's about it. But I figure this reading will be a good opportunity for me to learn some things. So let's get into it. I'm going to first start with figuring out what's going on with his mental state. It can't be easy to have this kind of light on him, this kind of spotlight on him at this time. So let's just see what's going on with Kyrie, how he's feeling, how he's holding up. Can you tell us about Kyrie's mental state? How is he doing at this time? Let's share this great. If you guys are cooking while you are watching this, let me know. I'm actually cooking while I'm doing this reading. So if you guys hear a timer or anything go off, just ignore that. And focus in on this reading. But let's see what's going on with Kyrie, where he is currently in terms of his mental state at this time. And for those of you who read tarot, I'm using the Game of Thrones tarot at this point for this particular reading. I may grab something else as clarifiers in a minute. Okay, so this is actually really, really interesting. All right. Clarify this Ace of Wands for me. What do we need to know about this Ace of Wands? So right away, I'm getting that he is hurt. There's no hiding that. There's a lot he's dealing with in terms of hurt and confusion around this situation. He understands the inevitability of the difficulty of what he's going through, right? I think that he feels like, especially anybody within his field, and when I say his field, I mean both, I was about to say athleticism's child. That's how little I know about sports. Anyone who's in both the field of sports as well as entertainment that has a voice or that has a perspective that's different than what the corporations that fund them are in alignment with has a difficult time, right? So I think there's a part of him that felt like at some point in his career, he was going to have this Three of Swords moment. He was going to have this moment of public betrayal that he learns from, right? But even the knowing of that, even the anticipation of that does not take away from the weight of what he's going through. Ace of Swords, new downloads, new insights. He's learning a lot at this time, not just about the situation and the nature of the business that he's in, but just about life in general and how it works. And it's changing him severely. So he's just not the same person that he was when he first engaged in or started striving for this career, right? So mentally, intellectually, internally, he's just changed a lot. And he's actively in a space where he is receiving a lot of downloads and just changing who he is as a person. The next card we have is the Three of Swords. Now, if you guys have watched me read before, you heard me refer to this as the card of heartbreak that's meant for a maturation, right? That Three of Swords pain, it ain't no hoe. It typically represents a first type of heartbreak, first heartbreak of its kind, right? And so this kind of public betrayal that he feels like he's dealing with, it is the first of its kind for him. But again, it's meant for his maturation. It's only going to make him tougher. It's only going to cause him to elevate in terms of how he deals with things after this, right? Now, this is where things get a little interesting. We have the Ace of Wands that is clarified by the Judgment card in reverse in the Two of Swords. So Kyrie, I'm not going to go as far as to say he's going to leave basketball, because I don't think that that's what's going to happen. But he definitely is at a space where he feels like if he needs to do something different, he's open to it. He is very much open and welcome to some sort of transition that allows him to take up a different kind of space within the public sphere, right? He's kind of over being seen as this person that has to be grateful for deals, that has to be grateful for his position. It's taken the joy out of the sport for him, right? So he's in a space where he's really given a lot of thought to what the next step is, what the next move is. He's very open to having new opportunities, and that openness is going to present in him having new opportunities, right? But we also have the Judgment card in reverse. So even though he's feeling that way, he's not very much tapped in, right? He's not in a space where he can get the divine answers that he needs from spirit. A lot of his actions, again, going back to this wand energy, are very much coming from passion and impulse. We also have the Two of Swords, right? And this is very much a card about indecision. It's a card about not being able to see clearly. It's a card about having to make really, really big choices. So a lot of how he's moving right now is honestly coming from a space of both passion and indecision. It's coming from impulse, and it's somewhat reactionary. So there is a lot of potential for him. At the same time that there's potential for him to be able to take on some sort of new endeavor that will propel him forward, if he's not careful and if he doesn't do the work of being more spirit-led, he can also take on some sort of endeavor that's half-cooked, right? Because that happens a lot with the Two of Swords energy. I always tell people, if you let the Two of Swords choose you or push you in a direction, rather than you actively engaging with the decision-making or the choices that you're being called to, you can have a lot of regrets. So what I'm getting from this first row is that he is feeling somewhat disillusioned with basketball overall, right? And a lot of that has to do with him feeling like, you know, if I change my mind about things, if I become passionate about something, like what's the next thing that's going to make them want to betray me? What's the next thing that's going to make them want to give me huge financial sanctions? Is this field even worth it? Even though he's feeling that way, and there's nothing wrong with him feeling that way, if he doesn't temper this kind of push and pull that he's dealing with internally, intellectually, if he doesn't temper it or anchor it in some sort of relationship to faith, some sort of relationship to spirit, it will cause him to act impulsively in a way that he can have a lot of regret about further down the line. In the bottom row, we have the Four of Pentacles, the World card, and the Nine of Wands. I'm not going to go as far as to say that he is financially restricted. Like, his money is fine. He's not going to have to worry about like shelter or food, definitely. But he is deeply uncomfortable with the ways in which his money is wrapped up in things that are beyond his control, right? And that has a lot to do with that Three of Swords heartbreak energy. That's a huge part of the reason why he is feeling disillusioned with his career in basketball right now, because it's kind of like, why have I worked this hard for so long when I feel like other people are pulling the strings around my money, right? So honestly, there is so much more that he would want to say. There is a lot more that he wants to be. He could be a lot more combative if he wanted to, but this Four of Pentacles energy, this fear about, you know, I'm going to pull a clarifier over this because I feel like he is responsible for someone's financial health, someone's financial wellness. And that's a huge part of that Four of Pentacles energy coming up. Because I am getting that he would be a lot more combative, for lack of better words, if there weren't Mm-hmm. We have both the Knight of Cups and the Page of Cups clarifying this Four of Pentacles, right? So that tells me two things. My intuition was right. He does take care of a lot of people financially, right? That Knight of Cups energy, we know it colloquially as the romantic, but the thing about the Knight of Cups is that they dote on people. They pour their resources into people. A huge part of what makes them feel like a man, right? Thinking about the energy of a knight, a huge part of what makes them feel like a man is an ability to take care of other people. So again, he would be a lot more reckless with his words. He would be a lot more combative. But if he didn't know that he was financially responsible for other people, it would make him say things. But he's restricting himself because he knows that other people are dependent on his finances. Another thing with this Page of Cups, again, going back to what I said earlier, he does fantasize about not being in this field anymore. He does fantasize about doing something else. Again, the Page of Cups energy is very much a dreamy energy, and it thinks a lot about, it can be almost delusional, right? I'm not trying to say that Kyrie isn't capable of doing other things. Again, I don't know this man. Why y'all putting twos down? I'm gonna ignore the comments for a second just so I can focus. But again, going back to what I said about that Ace of Wands and that impulsivity, any decision that he would make at this time to just actively leave sports would be an impulsive one, and it would be fueled by delusion. Again, with that that Page of Cups kind of energy. We have the World card, which is him thinking about his impact on the world. Like, what's next? Like, I think for him, although the money is a concern and his ability to take care of the people that depend on him is a concern, he's also just really concerned about his legacy. He's concerned about his impact. He's concerned about, okay, well, if I fold or if I cower, what does that mean, not only for the legacy that I leave behind as Kyrie, but what kind of world does that leave behind for people who come after me, who are also in this field, who are also in the space of mental, emotional exploration? Like, I have to stand up because this is about the imprint that I leave on the world as I move forward, right? But he's tired. He's fucking exhausted. He's worn out. He knows he can bounce back. He knows that there's going to be a life after this situation. Like, he has a deep faith that he's going to be okay, but at the same time, he's tired and he's irritated. Like, he feels like this is a fight that he shouldn't have had to take on in the first place. Like, this should not have gone as far as it did. But for him, he's gonna take the fight because he's not gonna back down. He's not gonna let them punk him. But at the same time, he's deeply irritated with the fact that he's even had to engage in this fight in the first place. So that's where he is with his mental state. To summarize that, I would say that he's heartbroken. He's disappointed. Not because he didn't expect this. I think there was a deep part of him that knew that it was only a matter of time before he dealt with something like this. But he is heartbroken with just the viciousness that he's had to deal with. He's concerned about money, but not in a way where he's broke. He's more concerned about money because it's illuminating for him very, very clearly that what he thought, the financial freedom he thought he was going to be able to get from this particular career is not laid out the way that he thought it was going to be. So it's really frustrating for him. These banner questions got me. I wish I could see the banner questions. I'm not able to see the chat. So I'm going to actually slow down and take a moment to see what y'all in here saying about me. Somebody wants to know if he has investments. That's definitely one of the questions I'm going to ask going forward. Thank you, Hunsi LaBelle Venus. You said I better read. Well, Houngan is coming for me, so I'm gonna have to fight. That's why I'm reading as hard as I am. Not gonna let this man play with me. All right. So the next question that I want to ask about Kyrie is that I want to know if he's really anti-Semitic, right? We know what he said about, he can't be anti-Semitic because he comes from a Semitic people. But we also know that the definition of Semitism that is being used to describe him is not in alignment with what he's talking about. So let's address his feelings about what it is that people are talking about. So I'm not going to ask necessarily, is he anti-Semitic? Because I don't want to get wrapped up in semantics with you guys. I know some of y'all identify as a certain way, and I'm not about to have y'all saying nothing ridiculous to me right now. But, you know, does he have a bias towards Jewish people? That's what I want to know. So I'm going to ask very directly and specifically, does Kyrie have a bias?
Against.
A bias against. Thank you for correcting me, sir. I felt it. Does he have a bias against Jewish people? We'll check into his spouse potentially in a little bit. We'll see what's going on. I want to know what these 1s and 2s are. Y'all getting on my nerves. I know y'all doing something nefarious that I'm not up to date on. So what are these 1 and 2s about? Buy the justice card for me. Buy the justice card. So here's what I'll say. Kyrie does not have a problem with Jewish people whatsoever. He does not. He has a problem with people who use white passing or their proximity to whiteness to align themselves with white supremacy. And that's coming up very, very clearly in the cards for me. He's actually frustrated that people don't understand that that's simply what it is about him. He thought that other people saw that very clearly, right? He thought that other people are able to pick up what he's putting down. So it's really, really frustrating for him that there's being a manipulation to present him as an anti-Semite, to present him as somebody who dislikes Jewish people. He's deeply frustrated by that. In the first row, we have the Ace of Wands, the Fool card, and the Knight of Wands, right? And so the Ace of Wands goes again back to him taking up space in a way that he thought these insights for him, although very specific and palpable, it was a new time or a new thing for him to share it publicly, right? So incorporating these ideas as part of his public persona was a very new and different thing for him. And there was a lot of risk involved in him doing that. But he was excited about it. Like him learning these different things, having this new perspective is very much a part of a journey for him that he was very excited about. And he didn't think that there was anything wrong with showing it, right? Another element of the Fool card is that, yes, it's about taking risks that appear foolish to other people, but it's not just foolish, it's dangerous. So, but you don't feel like you are in danger. You don't feel like you're doing anything wrong. So that again goes back to him feeling like, okay, well, this is obvious. Like, obviously, people know that they're, you know, you can have an issue with Jewish people aligning themselves with white supremacy and not have an issue with Jewish people. Those are two very separate things, right? So with him taking that for granted, he made some impulsive decisions. He moved forward. This is an Aries energy, by the way. Knight of Wands is an Aries card. And you guys know that Aries are just like that. They will say something before fully thinking about it, right? Half the time they don't understand what it is they said until after they've said it. It's very much an act first, think later energy. So this represents very much how he was processing and how he was expressing himself, right? In the bottom row, we have the Six of Cups, the Justice card that is clarified by the Two of Cups and the Six of Pentacles in reverse and the Nine of Cups, right? Kyrie cares a lot about his community, and he cares a lot about specifically his ethnicity, right? And that was something that he was raised to care about. He's very proud to be a Black man. He's very proud of being able to take care of his community. A huge part of why he wanted to do the things that he did in his adulthood in terms of his career was so that he can reach back and help community, right? Six of Cups is a card of nostalgia. I often call it the card of reparenting. So this is somebody who's able to look back on their past in a way that's very favorable and very healing. And also, this is not a word I typically associate with this card, but just intuitively, I'm getting unapologetically, right? He's very unapologetic about the pride that he has for his race, for his background, his culture, etc., right? You may be thinking, what does that have to do with him being, anti-Jewish or anti-Semitic? Again, he is not. That is very, very clear in the cards, right? But we have the Justice card being clarified by the Two of Cups and the Six of Pentacles in reverse. So for him, as somebody who has always grown up thinking about the representation of his community, the representation of his ethnicity, his ability to be able to hold his community down while working interculturally, he has frustrations with certain, and not all Jewish people, but certain members of the population that he feels have not done that. And so because of that, he feels like there is something needs to come home to roost. There needs to be justice in the situation. There needs to be karmic conversations that are timely. They may be uncomfortable, but they're necessary, right? And that is the energy of the Justice card. Getting justice ain't always going to be comfortable. Having these karmic conversations are not always going to be comfortable, but nobody can escape justice, right? And that's how he feels about this. Now, the Two of Cups is the card, we think of it as equivalent to the Lover's card, but this is just about business partnership, period, right? Two of Cups energy is actually a lot. It tells you a lot more about work and business and money than it does, in my opinion, in my experience of it, right? And again, this is, when you think about justice, that's what he's frustrated by. Like, he feels like there just needs to be nuanced conversations about what does it look like when white ethnic, when white ethnic groups identify themselves or align themselves with white supremacy. Yes, those are difficult conversations to have, but it doesn't mean that they aren't necessary ones, right? And for him, again, this is somebody who was taught literally in childhood and has kept the investment. I'm going to read about that in a minute. I'm going to read about Shanquilla in a second. He doesn't like the fact that alignment with whiteness, honestly, gets used to be, in his understanding, to be stingy, to take away resources, to be unfair with the allotment of resources, right? Six of Pentacles, when in reverse, is somebody who doesn't know how to be charitable. It is an energy of being somewhat greedy, right? And this, again, going back to what I said about the Justice card, these are uncomfortable conversations, but it doesn't mean that they aren't necessary conversations, right? And so for him, it's not about being anti-Semitic. It's not about being anti-Jewish. It's about, okay, well, what does accountability look like? Especially when you are willingly aligning yourself with the power structure that you know does harm, that you know takes away and makes the allocation of resources damn near impossible. Even though he's in a tough spot right now, he's grateful. He's grateful for the fact that he said it. He's grateful for the fact that he started the conversation. He's grateful for the fact that he finally made people uncomfortable. It's not a conversation that people haven't had, but he's pushed it into a realm and an arena that, it probably would not have taken place in. So he's grateful even for the difficulty, right? This is the energy of being overwhelmed with your cups being full. So yeah, he's not anti-Semitic. He's not anti-Semitic. There are certain connections that he's made that he's frustrated people aren't allowing themselves to have conversation about. Y'all need to be hitting more of them scales. Y'all need to be engaging more with my reading and what it is I'm talking about. Thank you very much. So if you have any questions, go ahead and type them below. I wanted to read on his Shanquilla donation anyway, and I saw that somebody had written something in the comments about that donation. I want to know why he gave a donation. And that may sound like a silly question, but realistically, we haven't seen any other celebrities speak with their dollar. We've barely seen them speak with posts. So for him to not only speak with his money, but speak so generously, I want to know what that was about. I want to know why he connected with the Shanquilla situation and why he felt the need to, you know, literally put his money where his mouth is, right? Sisters, what can you tell me about Kyrie's donation to Shanquilla? If you guys have not already watched my Shanquilla reading, stay here and pay attention to what I'm doing right now. But once this is over, if you want to hear more of me, if you want to get more of my insights, go ahead and watch that Shanquilla reading. I actually brought up some things in that reading that got highlighted this week, right? I mentioned the fact that her friends went there to eat off of her plate. It has been revealed that she literally paid for that entire vacation for them. I brought up that I wouldn't be shocked if some of her things went missing or if people stole from her. And it's come out that the police have been accused of stealing money from her suitcase. So if I do say so myself, the Shanquilla reading I did was actually really good. So I encourage you guys to go and watch it if you haven't already. But let's see what we can find out about why Kyrie donated. That is sad. That is really pathetic. I mean, the fact that that girl was going through that and they used it as an opportunity to steal her money is just absolutely ridiculous. But let's see why Kyrie donated so heavily to her GoFundMe campaign. Let's see what's coming. The devil card for me. Clarify the devil card. That's an interesting card. Clarify the devil card for me. Can somebody Google and confirm whether or not Kyrie has sisters? Let me know if he has sisters. He was actually very triggered by this situation. He was very triggered by the situation. I don't know a lot about this young man, but he does care a lot about women. For him, a huge part of it's like his energy is like, what's the point of being a man if you don't protect women, right? I also feel like there's a part of him that sees, and this is going to sound, I'm just going to say it, sees his community in the state of where it is the way that it is, right? And because of that, he knows that this could have easily happened to some of the women in his life. So in addition to him just having a soft spot in terms of the care of Black women, the protection of Black women, he has a deep awareness of the particular vulnerabilities that Black women are subject to. There are women in his life that he just cares very deeply about, and he fears that something like that could have happened to them, right? Very easily. He does have sisters. Thank you, Fridasi. Thank you, LaBelle Venus. We have the King of Cups, the Nine of Wands, and the Eight of Wands in the first row. The King of Cups, this is literally the card of the diplomat. This is somebody who is very cultured, very compassionate, and very caring. And because they are cultured, compassionate, and caring, they are able to balance that kind of leadership, executive mind that we associate with kings with the nobility of a politician, right? A community leader. So for him, it's like there was no other option than to step up in this way, because that's what men of his position, that's what men of import do. You know, you can't see something like that happen to a Black woman, a woman of your community, and not make some sort of gesture of support, right? But the King of Cups, even though they're very strong energy, they do have a very, very soft heart. So this is something that really hit his heart in a way that made him stand in his power, in his divine masculine, right? He's tired. It hurts his heart to know that Black women are subjected to the kinds of violences that they are, right? He's worn out. He's tired of seeing this happen to women. Like, again, this is a card of exhaustion. It's resiliency, but it is exhaustion. So this is frustrating to him, right? It's something he wants to see an end to. And when he sees things like, this isn't the first time he's done this. It's the first time it's been public. This is not the first time he's done it, right? When things like this happen, he moves very quickly. Eight of Wands is just, it's another card about just acting, riding the wave, doing what you need to do to take advantage of a particular moment, right? Now, when I say take advantage, I mean that because partially this was a flex too. Now, what do I mean by this being a flex? He knew that people were going to notice the donation. He knew that people were going to notice that it was coming from him. And for him, again, going back to this King of Cups energy, everybody has this stank on his name and is saying things about him that are deeply untrue. It's like, okay, well, I'm just going to flex by changing the narrative and doing something that's important. So instead of people talking about this, why aren't they donating as well, right? But again, this was about him taking advantage of the moment, taking advantage of the opportunity, but to ride the wave in a way that helped the situation, right? So yes, there was a little bit of benefit to him, but that was not the primary concern. The primary concern is that Kyrie is just someone that has a soft spot for Black women and wants to see Black women be protected more. In the bottom row, we have the King of Pentacles, the Devil card, clarified by the Courting card and the Three of Pentacles, and then we end with the Eight of Swords. Now, again, he feels like, I've done all this hard work. I am established in my career. I got it. Why not give it, right? King of Pentacles is somebody, it's a card of legacy. And again, thinking about the ways in which people are trying to fuck with his legacy right now, he wants to be remembered as a giving person. He wants to be remembered as somebody who poured into his community, who poured into the things that matter. So for him, again, it wasn't a selfish gesture, but it was like, I need to do this because this is my legacy anyway. I'm a person who gives, so why not? Now, this Devil card, Lover's card, Three of Pentacles card is where things get really, really interesting, right? So part of the reason why I put clarifiers over the Devil is that I wanted to make sure that there wasn't anything vice-driven going on. And that's not what's happening here. This is Capricorn energy. This is the businessman, right? Capricorns are very calculated, right? When it comes to business, everything comes back to business for them. So again, not in a selfish way, but this was a business move. You heard me say earlier that he thinks a lot about his impact on the world and the way in which his actions will make the other people after him move a particular way, right? So again, in that Capricorn energy, this being a business move, he is hopeful that other people will just start giving more. When things like this happen, stop asking a bunch of questions, stop fucking gossiping, like stop posting, just give. So this was very much a businessman decision. The Lover's card and the Three of Pentacles is why I asked about whether or not he has sisters, right? So I do know that he has a partner, and a part of it is concern about his partner. Doing things that leave a legacy of supporting women is an act of love for him, right? His partner, I don't want to say his partner told him to make the donation, But I think that the woman that he's with right now has conversations with him that make him question, what does it mean to be a man that protects women? What does it mean to be a man that shows up for women in my community? How do I encourage other men in my field, in my peer group, etc., to understand that we have to care about women far beyond the women that we are sleeping with. Does that make sense? We have the Three of Pentacles. So yes, this was a conversation that was started by his partner. But again, women being in his community, Black women in particular being in his community, he wants to continue to work and collaborate with them to create ways for them to be safe, create ways for them to be financially stable and responsible so that they don't have to make certain sacrifices that put them in compromising situations in the first place, right? So that's that whole cluster with the Devil, the courting card, and the Three of Pentacles. We end with the Eight of Swords, right? And this is self-imposed imprisonment and fear. Now, that may be an interesting card to end with this question, but this is about him fearing whether or not it's enough, right? Again, he really wants to shape and influence other men to also do things like this, to be more giving, to care about what happens to Black women beyond representation, beyond fuck-ass conversations about marriage and, age limits and shit like that, right? But there is a part of him that fears that it's not enough. He also fears that if he goes too hard, he's going to be seen as pandering. He's going to be accused of being a simp. He's going to be accused. It's funny because I'm thinking of John Boyega. And that's interesting because that was a very similar thing that happened to John Boyega. He made all these questions about Black women and dark-skinned women and beauty, and then he was accused of pandering. And that happens a lot with Black men in the public sphere. It's almost like if they love Black women too much, then they're accused of pandering. So there is a part of him that really, really does want to do more, not just for Shanquilla, but in terms of, Black femicide and violence against Black women in general. But there's a part of him that feels like he's not going to be taken seriously, that he's going to be accused of pandering, and that people are just going to assume that he's only doing it to shift a certain light away from him or a certain conversation off of him, right? I'm going to do one more question, and then I'm going to I guess I'll let Houngan go ahead and talk about whatever the hell he was going to talk about. But I'm going to do one more question. And I also want to know if he's going to sue the Nets. I want to know if he is going to do anything to protect himself legally, if there's going to be a lawsuit, if he's going to contest the sanctions that have been put against him. What is he going to do moving forward? Ancestors, what can you tell me about whether Kyrie will sue the Nets? Will he sue the Nets? Will this be something that he fights legally? Oh, LaBelle Venus said this reading hit her in her heart. I like this young man's energy. I really, really do. Again, I know very little about him before sitting down to do this. First of all, I sound like my mother. I like this young man's energy. I knew very little about him before sitting down to do this, but he really does have he has a kind heart. He really does. He has a good spirit. I'm a little spoiled and I don't feel like I'm seeing enough scales, so I'm going to need you guys to hit more of them and change that. I am doing a fantastic job, and I'm going to need you guys to affirm that by hitting those scales for me. He is, he's considering it. He's definitely considering it. Hold on. Clarify the Ace of Swords for me. That's what we need to know about the Ace of Swords. I get that he really, really wants to. He's talking a lot about it. He's definitely getting things in order and seeing if it's a possibility for him. honestly, he's already lost some relationships as a result of those conversations. He has not taken it off the table. He's very hopeful that it is an option. But realistically, the amount of money, and now that makes sense that we got that Four of Pentacles earlier. The amount of money that an endeavor like this would take out of him is the primary thing that's making him. If it wouldn't have been a big financial hit, he would have already done it by now. So a lot of what he's doing at this point is leaning on the information of experts to see how to go about this if it were something that he was going to do, right? The Tower card is, again, it's the crumbling of unstable foundations. It's things that are being ripped away from us in a very chaotic manner that were never meant to be permanent. So that's why I'm talking about. There were relationships that he's lost as a result of this, that he believed were stable, folks that he believed were in his corner. They're not there anymore. So he is in the process with this King of Swords of rebuilding that team of experts, rebuilding that team of trusted advisors. The King of Swords is the trusted advisor. This is the professor, the lawyer, somebody who's deeply educated. So that's one thing that's really good about Kyrie. He's not gonna fuck with people who don't know what they're talking about. So he's really trying to assemble this court of King of Swords energy, people that are deeply intellectual and also capable of taking on a fight. The thing that I love about King of Swords energy is that they don't give a fuck about making an enemy. They don't care about being liked. They care about goal achievement. They care about being on top, right? So because of that, they're not going to do necessarily the popular thing. So these are the people that he's trying to align himself with after losing these, these people that were not on his side, these people that were not meant to be stable. He's in a space of regaining his hope right now. He is optimistic about the fact that this is something that he can do. He's really standing, even though he doesn't have the team established, even though he doesn't have a clear plan yet, he's very hopeful about it. He's very prayerful about it. He feels like this is something that can really, again, not just change things for himself, but really put some protections in order for other people that come after him. So he's very hopeful around the opportunity of what a lawsuit could do in terms of shifting things and making it so that they just can't, demand $500,000 every time you say something that they don't like, right? In the bottom row, we have the Two of Pentacles, Temperance, Ace of Swords, clarified by the King of Swords again, and the Six of Pentacles in reverse. This is an energy of balancing your coins. Sometimes it can represent robbing Peter to pay Paul, right? So he's very much, I don't get that he was the flashiest spender in the beginning, but he is moving money around. He is trying to figure out how to make this happen, right? He is figuring out what he needs to balance and figure out so that he can actually invest in something as big as a lawsuit against the Nets, right? He's also in a space of studying, trying to make sure that he approaches this from a clear-headed perspective. Again, that Aries energy is something that can work against him sometimes. So he's trying really hard to look at this from a long haul perspective instead of being impulsive. He's trying really hard to be as patient and as grounded as he possibly can while being present to the new information that's coming to him so that he doesn't do anything impulsive and throw things out of order, right? At some point very soon, I'm getting within the next 3 months, he's going to get some sort of understanding around a violation, right? This is new download. So he's going to get some new information that helps him to understand that, I don't want to say that the sanctions they placed on him were necessarily illegal, unethical, definitely. And that new information is definitely going to embolden his team. It's going to embolden them King of Swords around him, right? And that's going to really, really help them in terms of moving forward on the case. He's not likely to get a lot of money. We have the Six of Pentacles in reverse. So this, again, but it's not about money for him necessarily. So even if the lawsuit happens, whatever results take place are going to be more about changing the, I don't want to say the legislation, that's not the right word. What word are you thinking of, Soleil? Changing the policies, changing the standards, changing the practices so that they can't do this to someone else. So he likely, I see it being very likely that he will sue. I don't feel like he's going to sue tomorrow. I feel like it's going to be something that's going to happen early, probably around spring in 2023. And it's going to be as a result of this team of experts around him finding an angle, finding some new information that makes it easier. I do see that if it were something that were easy to do, it would have happened by now. But because of the amount of money that something like this takes and the long-term financial investment, these King of Swords types around him want to make sure that they have the best plan before going into this. So he's doing a lot right now around tempering, right? Calming that Aries energy and looking at this as a long haul fight rather than being reactionary. All right, that's all I'm gonna say about Kyrie for tonight. I'm gonna go ahead and stop right there. I guess I'll hand it back over to Houngan. I know y'all are gonna miss my conversation.
No, y'all not.
Go ahead.
Damn lie.
They're already missing me.
Okay,
Let
me see. They said phenomenal reading. You're reading the hell out of these cards. Well, it's me, the king. It is time to shine. All right, y'all. Y'all know I'm from Memphis, and y'all favorite episodes of the first 48 are the ones that involve the Memphians. So let me just go ahead and murder this bitch and take her ass all the way out. We're going to be reading from the spirit board today, the Voodoo spirit board. Okay, you all may be familiar with this on Black Spectrum Network. I don't know if y'all seen it before, but here we are. So today I'm going to be doing a reading on YSL. I'm going to be careful about the sorts of questions that I have to ask. I'm going to ask because I don't want to get killed by nobody. I don't want no hitters after me. And on top of that, I don't want to give away too much because I'm going to do a more intimate YSL anyway. But first things first, I've got to do my traditional Disney in my scrappy voice. So I'm going to do an overall reading of what's going on with YSL, like the group itself. So this is not going to be Young Thug and Gunna and all that. I'm just going to look and see overall what's going on with this group. What is the energy around the indictment of this group? Hit the skull emoji if you are a fan of me. Hit the skull emoji if you're a fan of that August Alsina reading. Hit the skull emoji if you enjoyed the August Alsina reading. Let me know. All right. Let's see. Why is it? Well, I think I'm gonna say some things that I feel like you all already know, or that may be common sense, but I'm gonna say them anyway. The first card that I have is a card for the spiritual court, which is talking about a pantheon of deities and ancestors that are waiting for their devotion from the YSL group. It's also talking about a spiritual regimen that's been neglected, and a spiritual regimen basically the spiritual regimen is necessary in order for this group to connect to their spiritual guides. this card is saying that the YSL group has no spiritual protection. Okay. This is saying that their spiritual protection has diminished dramatically because of the crimes that are alleged against them. And it's also saying that they've opened portals to damnation. So it's all to say that they have enemies. They've made an enemy out of the law. But not only have they made an enemy out of the law, they've made an enemy out of other gang members as well. So there are people that are in gangs that are within the prison system and outside of the prison system that they got their eyes locked in on YSL, and y'all need to know that. Now the spiritual regimen comes into them. It's like they never cleaned up their behavior. So it's like, you know how they say, I did strip club research. So there's this thing about, if y'all ever seen the Players Club, it's like, make that money, don't let it make you. They made so much money that they didn't get out the game. They never, with the money and power and status that they acquired, they were supposed to parlay those resources into more legitimate and respectable professions, but they didn't. Instead, it left them spiritually vulnerable. And they became targets, not only to other gangs, but they became targets to the law. The other thing that they're facing is my purging and cleansing card, which is talking about everyone in YSL. It's talking about the prosecution is actually trying to go after everybody in YSL. The other thing that I'm seeing here is I feel, because my purging and cleansing card is also talking about a change of diet and correcting health and psychological issues. This is saying that many of the members use a lot of drugs and alcohol. Well, drugs. They were using some really hard drugs, and this is sitting their asses down as a way to force them into rehabbing from their addiction problems. It's also they're also being separated from each other, because the spirits walking with them are removing everyone from their life that's adding nothing to it. And they're placing these people in isolation so that they can achieve some type of enlightenment. So they're supposed to be learning lessons. It's like if they had pulled up allegedly Yo Gotti, if they had pulled an allegedly Yo Gotti or an allegedly Jay-Z, where they moved all this money into more legitimate systems and then tried to get back to the community, they may have been able to get away with murder. No pun intended. The next card that I have is the card for faith, which is talking about, again, we pulled this earlier with August Alsina, but this is talking about a lack of faith in overcoming their obstacles. So this is saying that they had so much faith in them. They had so much faith in themselves that they thought they were gods. And now because of the position that they're in, they are humbled and realizing that they are a little lower than the angels, that they're not gods and they're not in control of their fate. So now now I see them praying and hoping that things work out for themselves. Another card that I have is a card for fair exchange. Okay. So this is talking about a person, place, or thing that's taking too much energy and not replacing it. So again, alleged. So this is talking about the alleged crimes, whether it was a robbery, right, or it was a murder. Those are not victimless crimes, and they weren't pouring back into the community to a great enough degree to where they could. Basically, they owe karmic. They are in karmic debt. The entire YSL gang is in karmic debt. It's also talking about how this needs to happen so that the younger members who haven't been indicted can part from the group and they can move on to something better. So it's like the younger people, if you haven't been indicted by Fannie attorney, District Attorney Fannie Willis, then that's a blessing. But it's also, I'm just letting you know, your spirits are saying to you that it's time for you to move on to something better that's more legitimate. Also, in addition to this, it's talking about how them sitting in prison right now. Now, I'm not saying that they're going to go, they'll be found guilty, but them just sitting in prison is the spirits trying to settle a debt that they owe to the community. And they are obligated right now to sit in prison. And I don't see them them getting out on bond. Now, the challenge or obstacle right now is patience. And this is talking about patience because the court case has to start. So everybody in YSL has to accept delays and troubles that come with this process. So this is delays with getting out of prison, and this is also talking about suffering while in prison. The other thing that I'm saying is that everybody in YSL has an inability to suppress their restlessness. So we'll get into this a little bit later because I'm going to ask, are they going to start testifying against each other? But I am seeing that some people are growing impatient and hoping that their testimony will lead to them getting out much sooner. I'm also seeing that a lot of the members are under a lot of emotional duress because they're in conflict with their attorneys, if they even have attorneys. Now, the outcome of the reading is talking about healing work. It's talking about some of the members receiving some type of it's talking about how it is that some of the members will receive shortened sentences, and they will have to pay restitution back to the community for the things that they're going to be indicted for. Another thing that I'm seeing here is my genetic genius card. So this is talking about they're only after the kingpin. So this means that they want to indict all of YSL, but the genetic genius is talking about them trying to really go after Young Thug. And it's also talking about how it is they feel like he's a mentor of these people, and he has people, and they also feel like he has a perpetual employer of apprentices that will go and commit crimes on his behalf. They're also saying that he is responsible for educating criminals, certifying criminals, promoting criminals, and giving raises to people who participate in criminal activity, and they have evidence against him to show that. I've not read the indictment. I'm just saying what I see from the cards. The next thing that I see here is the law of supply. So this is saying that Young Thug may run out of financial resources to pay his attorneys. He also may run out of financial resources to take care of his children. The last card is my card for legal issues, which is saying that these legal issues are going to be ongoing. That this legal battle is not going to stop. It's going to be a long court case, and that's just what the members of this group are facing. Okay, so I want to take a moment to show y'all who the lead district attorney is on this case, y'all. So I want y'all to look at her. Her name is Fannie Willis. We're going to take a quick look at Fannie. Let me see. Here she is. Y'all see her? This is Fannie Willis. This is who is going to take YSL down. Now, I don't want to say the wrong shit, Fannie. I know you're probably watching this because we got some mutual friends. Yes, me and Fannie have some mutual friends. But Fannie, I like what you're doing. I'm not a part of YSL, but I'm pretty sure that I think that Young Thug is probably saying, bitch, you built like a potato body ass, or something like that. I don't know, but I just know that they ain't big fans of you right now. And I mean, I like if they really did this shit, I like that you're allegedly, I like that you're handling what they allegedly did. We got to get that crime up off these streets down here in Atlanta. So I'm gonna go to my bone reading board and hit the motherfucking skull emojis. I'm gonna go to my bone reading board to look further into this, but I want to see really. Let's start with Gunna. I want to see, what does the prosecution have on him, and does he have a shot at getting out on bond? Okay, so we have a lot of stuff on the board. So there's a lot to say about Gunner. Okay. I have the three dice over the open door and the closed door. So this is saying that it's in limbo. Like there's a chance he could get out. There's a chance he could stay in. There's way too much confusion. See, the thing is, the judge is really confused about Gunner's role in everything. He's not. The judge is not sure if Gunner has a foot in the door or a foot out the door. But it's like I don't. But basically, you have 1 foot in the door, 1 foot out the door. I don't know if I should let you in or out. That's the thing. And this 3 is saying that there's a lot of curiosity, that the prosecution has a lot of curiosity about Gunner in general. The prosecution is not really even sure if they have a solid case against him. Okay. I know that his attorney has said that he's not mentioned in the indictment. Like his crimes or what he's alleged to have done is not mentioned in the indictment. They feel like he's just guilty by association. But the board is saying that too. They're saying that one of the keys to Gunner getting through this particular case is for him to have the strength to tell the truth about his involvement, and to only speak about his involvement. Now, I'm also seeing where there's Gunner's involvement is really shrouded in mystery. So I don't see the prosecution really having enough on him to find him guilty of anything or to produce any evidence that he did anything. I see it more so as they try to say that he was nurturing or mentoring people. Maybe he didn't put the hit out on. He didn't put out any hits on people. He didn't order people to do things, but he was. They do have evidence. I'm saying this. They have evidence that he was using some of these hitmen for protection. However. And that may be enough to keep him in prison, that he did employ some of these men for his own security. Another thing that I'm seeing here is that Gunner is not on suicide watch or anything, but he's definitely thought very deep. Like he's had some moments where he's like, bro, I got to get up out of here. He's thought about taking his life. He's praying that he doesn't stay in prison because he feels like he's going to die in prison. And if he does die, he's like, I'm committed to trying to stay alive as long as I can, but I do see that he might try to kill himself. Now, I'm also seeing here, he's not willing to testify against Young Thug. He's not. He feels like he'd be a snake. He's not willing to say what he knows. He does know a lot. He's very clear on what he does want to say and what he doesn't want to say. And he's very clear that he only wants to speak about what is being alleged against him. That's all he wants to talk about. So he feels like there's a chance that he could get out of this unscathed. Now I have some more tea here, where it's talking about lies. Like, what he needs to be mindful of is not to perjure himself. And that's what they could really get him on, is perjuring himself. Not only could they indict him for perjury, I'm also seeing that there are women connected to women that are being charged in this, that have some loose association with what's going on. And he might give information about what the women are doing or what the women have done. But he's not willing to turn on Young Thug. The other thing that's screwing him over, they're saying that he needs magic. Magic needs to be performed to help him. So for those of you all that have sympathy for Gunner, I would say that you all need to do some magic on his situation. I don't see a lot of evidence that they have to against him or to tie him to anything. If anything, I'm saying that he's very fortunate in how he's positioned in all of this, that like he's only guilty by association. They don't have any hard evidence against him. However, they're investigating into his text messages and emails, because they're like, there's some things that we want to ask you about that he has knowledge of, and he cannot say. And this is the thing: if he says, "I don't know what you're talking about. I don't have any knowledge of this," and it's about Young Thug, they will try to pursue perjury charges against him. They will try to pursue perjury charges against him. So he has to be very careful about about the way in which he answers things. I'm also saying that Gunna's health is on the decline as well. They're saying that in regard, like there's some health conditions that he has kept private. I don't know if his attorney has spoken about these things, but maybe they become public. But there are some health problems that he's kept private. He might have an addiction to some types of drugs. He needs to, and he's going through withdrawals. I'm also seeing here from, let's see, what else do I have for Gunna? He is anchored. What the thing is that Gunna he's not a killer. He's not a killer. But he ain't afraid to hang around killers. I don't know if that's going to be enough to get the jury to indict him, though. But I see the prosecution pushing that angle. Knew what was going on. He saw it. He didn't stop it. He didn't report anything. They're going to try to paint him as an enabler. I have the genie lamp. I have my genie lamp over Kuzin Zaka, which is talking about his ancestors. So it's talking about his ancestors are working overtime to try to prove him to be innocent. Let's see what else. I don't know. Does Gunna have a girlfriend or a baby mama? Because they're talking about there's a woman that's very attached to him, who's very possessive over him, and she's gonna be coming to court. She's gonna be coming to court, if she can come to court, to support him or to represent him. I'm saying this is a popular female figure. This is a popular female figure that's attached to him. But the heart is barely over this, so it's like she may have kept the relation. She may have not had enough time to go public with the relationship or whatever. What else do I see? With Gunna, I see them they're taking some very weak angles. Like they have some very weak arguments against Gunna. They're saying that he is someone that groomed people. He helped with the gang initiations. That he's responsible for the vetting process, the indoctrination process. But yeah, I don't see him wanting to testify. I see him trying to say, like, this ain't got nothing to do with me. I don't know. But I don't see him trying to take any plea deals either. Now, the thing that I do see is that he has more money set aside to pay for attorneys than Young Thug does. Now, I see that he will be able to pay an attorney to get bonded out, but it's like it's gonna take some time. It's really gonna take some time. It's like if it doesn't happen within the next bond hearing that he has, he's just gonna have to just let it play out in court. But I do see that he needs to pay for a different attorney. The attorney that he has is doing his best, and he's working overtime. But I just see it as it goes back to the judge being unsure of where Gunna stands in all this. Now I see that one of the miracles that's on Gunna's side, it involves money, and this is talking about he's got money on his commissary. He's able to pay for protection in the jail while he's there. People are very kind to him. I also see that he's his attorney, when he does have to defend, when his attorney does have to defend him, his attorney is going to be very successful in showing that he's a congenial person, and I just that's what I see so far. I mean, that's the most that I can see. I hope that this makes sense. I'm gonna do another throw, but I don't see Gunna. I don't see Gunna turning on him, and I think the court case is probably gonna start in January or something. But it's like Gunna does have the opportunity to get out on bond, but it's like the prosecution has to give more. They have to provide more evidence, and once they provide the evidence, then the judge will make his determination. But right now things are just too vague. It's like they've thrown a lot of crimes against the wall, and the judge can't really determine where Gunna sits in all of this. So it's just it's up in the air. Now I also want to see can Fannie Willis successfully get the YSL members to testify against one another. Now, I'm going to say this. When you have 27 people, when you have 20, when you got more than 3 people involved in a crime, I think it's possible that you get somebody to testify, but let's see what they get. Yeah. All right. Those men, they're saying that those men are cowardly. That those men, that some of those men that they've indicted, they don't have the courage to do prison time, and for their own survival, they are going to snitch. They're also saying that because of this indictment, it's screwed up they had a very tight social network, but that's been screwed up or screwed over due to this indictment. It's also saying that I have the anchor over guilt, or not the over guilt, but it's also over the ball. It's over the ball and chain. So this is saying that everybody is facing some serious time, and those men are being persuaded to testify so that they could get less prison, less time. So yes, they are going to have people testifying against each other. How another thing that I'm seeing here is that there's a lot of the prosecution is going, like, they are experiencing a lot of grief as they move through this case. It's very hard for them to get these members to crack. I see this is actually very messy. It's like they don't have all their ducks in a row. Also, the other thing with them testifying against each other is that the jury may not believe the members that are defecting. They may feel like these people that are testifying are doing so simply because they want to get off, and it's like some of their testimony is insincere. And I also see some people trying to plead the fifth too. I see that being a really huge thing, trying to plead the fifth, because I have the protection stone over sincerity. Now, another thing I see about this YSL case is that the members that are testifying against Young Thug don't have good they don't have solid legal representation either. So they feel like they have to testify. They're like, I got a public defender, and I mean, my public defender is saying that I should say it. The prosecution is offering me a deal. They can't contact Young Thug. It's like they don't know what else to do. They can only talk to their family. They really don't know what to do. The other thing is, a lot of those members are tired of sitting. They're very tired of sitting. And even though they're being treated well in prison, they don't enjoy being in prison. I don't think anybody enjoys being in prison, but contrary to what these guys said they were gonna do. They're like, I'll do a bid for this. You know, I'm gonna hope. No, they are ready to snitch. They are ready to snitch, but at the same time, I don't see them being the most honest witnesses either. So that's the thing. So this, like I said, it's messy. Prosecution, y'all got to tighten up according to this reading. Now, the key, they're pretty much saying that their fate is sealed. That once these members testify, the judge is going to, it's not going to be a mistrial for the people that are testifying against Young Thug, but they're saying that the judge is going to give them the maximum sentence. That's what I see. They're going to get a maximum sentence, even though, it's like they better take a plea deal, because if they don't, the judge is giving them the maximum sentence. I see it as their fate being sealed. I'm also seeing here where the prosecution is hoping that they can get some jaw-dropping moments, some gas. So they're hoping that they can get very solid testimony from some of the lower-ranking members, so that they can put Young Thug under. I'm also seeing here where some people's family members are going to die because of this. That's going to happen. There are people right now that are already planning and plotting hits, and some of these people's family members are going to die as soon as they get on the stand. I do see that happening. I see it. And these are going to be crimes where younger people are going to do these things. They're going to get even younger people to commit these crimes. Another thing that I'm seeing here, according to my reading, is that Fannie Willis is also getting more charges together. They are going to add more charges to this as well, and it looks like those charges are in relation to crimes committed against women. And it's not, I see like, it's like YSL has a lot of male enemies. So they try to shoot up the baby mama's house. I see baby mamas getting attacked, and I see charges coming coming to them because they did those things. Allegedly. I'm trying to say allegedly. Sorry if I'm stumbling with my words, guys. There's a lot of information here. Another thing that I'm seeing for this is Young Thug's mom. I hope his mom is still alive, because I see his mom being involved in the reading. But no, this is not Young Thug's mom. This is Young Thug's baby mama. But there's going to be information that comes out about how Young Thug's baby mama was killed in retaliation because of some things that happened due to what YSL did. I see there being a connection there. Yeah, a large part of this is about these guys testifying against each other. It's due to them not having very strong legal representation, and them feeling like they can offer their testimony as a form of currency. As this is my way of buying my freedom out of here. Let's see. Another thing I'm seeing is that what I can tell you is this. Young Thug has ways to retaliate. He has ways to work from the inside, and it doesn't just require a cell phone. There are people that work in the criminal justice system that are being paid by professionals in the music industry to do things on behalf of Young Thug. So there are people that are being intimidated still. So the prosecution is actually having a very tough time getting people to sit on the stand. Hit the motherfucking skull emoji.
I know y'all are really enjoying this goddamn tea. Do not play with me. Let me do another throw, y'all. Let me stop it right there. I'm gonna do another throw. Y'all hold on one second. I want to know, did Young Thug do that? Did he do some of this stuff? Okay. Okay, so Bawon Samadi is speaking. So Bawon has to speak because I have my skull ring over Bawon's bebe. Yeah, he did. They're saying this ring of death is saying like, yeah, he's the ring leader of death. He's the orchestrator of death. And not only that, he did these things like in retaliation. It's not like he put out hits on people. It's not like he initiated the beefs. It's like he was always retaliating because someone was either trying to. It looks like people were constantly trying to rob him, and it also looks like this wasn't about territory. It's about people trying to extort him out of money. People trying to rob him, and I'm also seeing that he does not deal well with betrayal, especially when it comes to like people trying to fuck women that he's fucked. He will go to war over his women. That's another thing that I'm seeing about Young Thug. He doesn't play about that. Now I see he was very clear that at some point he was going to get charged, but he never saw himself doing time. That's the thing. He knew that he was going to get charged, but he never saw himself doing any time. And on top of that, Young Thug, he felt like he could just pay his way out of this. But in this particular predicament, I have a quarter and a turtle over Saturn, which is talking about how these restrictions that are being placed upon him being in jail, he knows that he's supposed to sit. He knows that he has to be there for a while, and he feels like he should be able to pay his way out of it. That's what he's hoping that he can do. He's hoping that is the more money, he's like, I'm paying all these attorneys, he's probably going to add another person onto his team. I feel like he's going to come up with some type of money. He's going to sell some sort of asset so that he can add another attorney onto his team because he feels he has a really good shot at getting out of this. Now, I'm also saying here where his anxiety is through the roof. His anxiety is through the roof because he's worried about the men in his family, people retaliating against the men in his family, and him not having the people around to protect them. Those are his resources. Young Thug values having ghetto security more than he does his money. He's like, I know how to come up on money, but it's really hard to find loyalty. Is what I'm seeing, and I also see that. I also see that even though he can't be indicted for these things, I see that Fulton County's prosecutors are trying to use crimes like things that he may have been arrested for in other states, or rumors that he allegedly paid people in other states to commit crimes. It's like they may have evidence that he has gone to another state or paid people in other states to commit crimes. Now, he's grieving. Like Young Thug is grieving right now, and he's grieving because he feels like they're trying. He's like, why is everything on me though? Like, why is everything? I didn't do this. I didn't do none of this. Y'all have evidence that these other people did it. Y'all don't have any evidence that I did it. Everything that y'all have against me is circumstantial. And he's also wondering, because again, loyalty is so important to him. He's like, well, shit, do I have snakes under me? Like, are these snakes finna say that I'm responsible for this? Because that's just talk. Like, you don't have any evidence other than saying that I did it. I didn't do it. Unless you produce some evidence, I'm gonna get out of here. I'm gonna get off. That's what he's feeling. But he's also experiencing a lot of grief. And this grief is not because he's got a guilty conscience. This grief is because he's like, I don't want them to misdirect their blame and put it on me when they should be blaming themselves. But that's also how I feel like he's talked to the members, where he's like, you know that you got to take responsibility for your own actions and your own decisions. Nobody can make you do this, or nobody can make you act against your own better judgment. Let me see what else I'm seeing. If I'm reading too long, y'all let me know. I'll let Soleil come back on, because I know that Nick, okay, that took that off for her. But anyway, we gotta do another throw. And we gotta do another throw. Y'all hold on. I'm gonna do this last throw, and then I'm gonna move back to my cards. Hit the skull emoji if you're enjoying this reading. This question I'm asking is like, what challenges lie ahead for YSL in this court case? I mean, obviously, the main challenge is, bitch, I want to be free. I want to get out of this motherfucker. Don't nobody want to be in no goddamn prison. So what challenges lie ahead for them? Endurance, the ability to endure being in prison while this case is going on. I see this case is going to take a long time. It's going to be a long case. And that's what everybody just has to restrain themselves. Everybody has to keep from talking. And the thing is, Young Thug isn't going to talk. Gunna is only talking about what is alleged against him and what's involved with him. But they are saying that the truth is going to come out. And when I say that the truth is going to come out, it means that the people that are testifying, even though they're embellishing and they will be, discredited, they are going to tell the truth, or at least what they feel is the truth. Young Thug, I don't think that he's going to be cross-examined. I don't think he's going to put himself on the stand. Another thing that I'm saying, screwed up. Shit, friends screwing you over for money. It's like these guys will say, they won't say, these guys will, it's about how can they trace the money back to Young Thug. That's the thing. They can't describe how they got paid. They can't say, I got sent an $8,000 cash out. The thing is that Young Thug paid them through just providing them with opportunities. Like, I'm gonna provide you with the opportunity to make this money. I'm gonna provide you with the opportunity to be in the studio with this person. I'm gonna provide you with the opportunity to get on this label. It's like it's not as simple as I paid you for to commit this crime. It's more complex than that. It's like I'm giving you the opportunity to elevate yourself. I'm exposing you to new knowledge. Here's some secrets to the industry that I'll put you up on. I'm gonna put you in contact with this other person that can help you to make some money through crime, right? So it's not. He was actually pretty smart in how he. Young Thug was actually pretty smart in how he participated in this. It's not exactly like his hands are dirty, but the prosecutors are going to really have a difficult time finding the dirt under his fingernails. Now, this is a RICO charge, mind you. These are RICO charges against them. So that's why so much of this hinges upon, like, this is why you're hearing me say guilty by association. This is what the spirits are telling me to say in this moment. That's why we're hearing guilty by association. Now, another thing that's facing them is like, they have to, YSL, they're taking the approach that this is a music group. Like, this is their defense. We are a music group. We are responsible people. We travel together. We're sincere friends. And we're the only thing that we're organized with is trying to make this money. Is what I'm saying. Is what I'm seeing. And I also hear them saying that that their lyrics, they're too cowardly to act out some of these things. Like, yeah, they've had to retaliate or stand their ground as citizens of Georgia, but they're not violent. They're not initiating they're not instigating violence. They're not the initiators of violence. They don't throw the first punch, is what I hear them saying. But Juan is saying that, but that's still not going to be enough in order to get them out on bond. This is saying that the case is actually still going to go forward. And let me see what else I can see. Basically, the saving grace is they can't. There's information that's been illegally obtained. I read a report. I can't say too much, but I got connections in Fulton County. But there's a report that there is. I know that the defense attorney for one of the defense attorneys, I can't remember if it's for Young Thug or Gunna, said that the prosecutors illegally subpoenaed this car rental place. And it's like and they're trying to say that Young Thug rented this vehicle that was used to commit this murder or whatever. So they're trying to get that evidence to be suppressed. I see a lot of evidence being contested. Them trying to suppress that evidence simply because of how it was acquired or how it's being submitted into evidence. I'm seeing here for the defense, like they have to just say we were just friends, we're just family, we're just close to each other. We all rap together. Of course, we're organized, but we're organized as business people, but not organized via crime. But I also see that there's going to be there's some unusual transactions. There's some sketchy transactions that the prosecution has looked into, and they can actually prove that these transactions are murder for hire or robbery for hire. So I see it's a mix. It's so many goddamn charges against them. It's like some are going to stick, and others they'll be found not guilty. So that's what I have thus far. Now I'm going to do a card reading. Please hit the skull emoji if you're enjoying this reading. Let me know if you're interested in this YSL thing. And if I'm boring, let me know. I know my best friend Danielle Richards is watching me. Danielle, bitch, if you bored, please let me know. If that was a boring ass reading. So bringing it back to YSL, I now want to know, will Young Thug testify against the other members? Shit, they testified against him. Is he gonna try to testify against him? It's like, bitch, if you trying to get me, I'm trying to get you. Let's see. The 9 of spades, the 9 of clubs, the 6 of clubs, 5 of spades. No, he's not. Young Thug ain't gonna say nothing. He's gonna be silent, because the thing is that Young Thug is a silent killer. He ain't never been the person to be about that talk. He will sit there and let you say everything that you. Young Thug is about that action. That's what I see. And anybody that's talking, there's somebody that's gonna die. And he's already made sure of that, because he's like, look, if I'm already in jail, y'all already done tried to sacrifice me. He's like, I'm the sacrificial lamb that y'all trying to take out. He's also very arrogant. He's not going to allow them to just. He's not going to. He's like, I'm not going to sing, but I will let the chopper fly. That's what he's about. The 9 of clubs is talking about. The 9 of clubs is one of those cards where you are known for giving spiritual information to people, or you're known for just giving information in general. And you're giving away this information that doesn't serve you because it serves other people. You know that you can't hold on to it. But what you get back in return is an inner fulfillment. The only information that he is willing to give is information about information to people on the outside about how to strike back. That's it. Because that's what's going to bring him fulfillment. It's revenge. That's what he's about right now. The other thing is that it's the people that he mentored that are turning against him. Not the people he broke bread with, drank with, smoked with, ate with, and those that he collaborated with. It's the people that were underneath him that are actually turning against him. The people that sat at number 2 that were watching him and plotting to become the next him. I then have the 6 of clubs. The 6 of clubs is talking about explaining yourself. It's also talking about making a huge speech. He's not gonna make a speech. He's not gonna explain himself. If anything, he wants to stick to the alibi that we're just a music group. That's all it's ever been. And these other people are fabricating stories and fairy tales. The 5 of Spades is talking about him moving the chess pieces around. He's feeling very restless in jail and in prison, and with his restlessness, he's just sitting and thinking to himself, like, man, I could plot this way, I could plot that way. He's putting his energy towards a very careful and silent way of retaliating. Also for Young Thug, we have the 10 of Spades, the Bishop of Spades, and the 10 of Hearts. So he's receiving an outpouring of support. He's also seeing that petition y'all put out there where y'all saying, free Thugger. But he's going through some long days and long nights, and every time there's a delay in him getting out on bond, it just upsets him even more. But he feels like this. He feels like the charges against him are politically motivated. He feels that he's like this isn't justified. Like, y'all are just trying to come at me simply because I run the streets. Y'all, that's how he feels. He's like, I've run these streets and I didn't do nothing. Like, I'm just out here making music. And the 10 of Hearts is here. He's like, I'm a community leader. Like, there's a king complex that he has. Not so much that he feels that he's above reproach, but he feels like he's done so much for the community that his beefs shouldn't matter. He's like, this is not how things. He's like, this is not how things are supposed to play out for me. I have the 8 of Spades, the 3 of Hearts, and then the Jack of Spades. So Young Thug feels like he's a very talented and skillful person, and he can coast and ride off of that wave. That just because he has this earthly power to mesmerize audiences of people, he feels like his hustle, his contribution to the community, those things are much more important than what's being alleged against him. He's like, these are just allegations. Of course, I did not do it. At the same time, I see that I don't know if he has a girlfriend that's been standing behind him or standing beside him, but he doesn't know that he's involved in a love triangle. I feel like one of his potential enemies or one of his enemies is dealing with his baby mama or his girlfriend. I don't know who, but there's a relationship he's in, and the woman is involved with somebody that's an enemy to him, or they're not explicitly an enemy. They've not made themselves an enemy to him, but they're a friendly enemy. They're a friend that has a very huge disdain for him. They're actually quite happy that he's in jail. He's locked up. And finally, I I see that Young Thug is just really not taking this shit seriously. He's not taking the prosecution seriously. He really believes he has a lot of faith in his attorneys. He's not going to participate in the criminal. He's not going to participate in the criminal process by trying to testify against anybody. He's going to exercise his right to remain silent, and he wants to see what the prosecution has against him, and that's what I see, and that's what I have. So yeah, I mean, the court case is going to take a long ass time, and maybe I'll do readings as the court case plays out. But please let me know if y'all enjoyed this reading. Danielle, if you are listening to me, bitch, let me know if I was boring. And again, please hit the motherfucking skull emoji, okay, guys? I read the fuck out that situation. I know I did a good ass job. I know y'all enjoyed that goddamn tea. Hit the panda emoji if I did that. Hit the skull emoji if I did that. We're gonna bring on the deceased. Hello to the deceased. You got to unmute yourself, priestess.
Said you did do a good job. That was entertaining. I learned a lot. Thank you for that.
Well, here you go. You got it. You got it, girl. Bye.
All right, everyone. Let's see what's going on with Brittany Griner. So if you guys were in charm school last term, then you guys probably already know a few things about the situation. So this is going to be somewhat of a follow-up of that reading, actually. We're going to figure out what's going on with her. Just like I did with Kyrie, I'm going to start with getting an understanding of what her mental state is right now. First, I'm going to need you guys to hit me with some scales because I don't see enough of those. I see them little weird pandas. I see that other thing, but where are the scales? I need some scales before I can go ahead and start laying these cards out and seeing what's going on with us. So for this reading, I'm using Tarot of the Divine, and I will likely clarify with Game of Thrones or Hoodoo Tarot. I'm gonna need some more scales than that. I'm gonna need more. It's too many of y'all in here. Way too many of y'all in here for me to not have more scales than this. Thank you for Dossie. I know more of y'all can hit me with some scales. So what's going on? Why are things slow? Thank you. Thank you. Appreciate it. This is really interesting because this answers a question that I was going to ask later, which is she being mistreated? So short answer, she is not doing the greatest. She's just not. She's having a really difficult time. She's having a hard time believing. She's at that state where it's like really, really hard for her to imagine and think about her life outside of the situation. So she's in a really difficult situation. There are people around her, both other prisoners as well as staff that work in her facility, that are goading her. They're picking at her. They're kind of throwing her career in her face. They are making fun of her position. So when you have that tied with her just not being in a great position, not being in a place that meets how she sees herself, she is dealing with a lot of depression. She's dealing with a lot of lack of clarity, just very, very confused. In the first row, we have the King of Wands, the Five of Wands, and the Eight of Wands. Now, this is interesting because both the King of Wands and the Knight of Wands are the card of the athlete, right? So physical care is the main thing that's keeping her going right now. So her working out and paying attention to her body is the main thing that's keeping her going right now. She's very focused on keeping her body intact. And that is the thing that it's like literally the only thing that's keeping her focused. Now we have petty disputes and arguments with the Five of Wands. So again, people around her are throwing a lot of petty things in her face. I can tell she's being goaded by people in particular. I'm reading the candle flame as I read the cards. A lot of you guys know that I do that, but I just wanted to show you so that way if you see me staring off to the side, you know what I'm doing. If any of you guys want to take classes from me and learn how to do candle divination, head on over to Black Spectrum Network, enroll in those classes. There will be more coming in December as well as January. But yeah, the people around her are kind of picking at her. This is petty disputes and arguments. This is people trying to distract you, trying to goad you into bullshit. So again, both the staff and other prisoners are picking at her, throwing things in her face, kind of almost trying to tear her down to size, right? That Eight of Swords is self-imposed imprisonment. So she's having a really, really hard time seeing her life outside of this circumstance. I'm actually going to pull a third row, even though I've been just doing 6 card spreads, because I want to get a little bit more clarity about her emotional state. The second row, we have the Eight of Wands, the Nine of Pentacles, and the Chariot in reverse. And what I think about this interesting with this Nine of Pentacles being in reverse is that she's losing a lot of money. She just is. Not being able to work right now. There's some sort of deal that she's lost. So she's concerned about that. With this Eight of Wands and her really wanting to get out and to change her circumstances, it's because she's aware of how, you know, basketball, well, I mean, what I know about sports, I've already articulated that I don't really know a whole lot about it. But it is, from what I understand, like you have a limited time clock in terms of when you can work, when you can earn. She's just fearful that the longer that she's in there, the more that's going to mess up her opportunity. So again, a lot of what she spends her days thinking about is, I have to get out of here quickly. I have to make something shake. There has to be some sort of opportunity I can jump on with this Eight of Wands that's going to propel me out of here. Because the longer that I'm in here, the longer that I'm messing with my fortune, right? That's further clarified by the Garden card and the Mother of Knives in reverse over this Eight of Wands, right? The Garden being equivalent to the World card, she thinks a lot about her future. She thinks about the kind of world and the impact that she wants to leave behind. Like, how can she nurture her future? But she can't do that from where she is right now. So I say all this to say that she spends a lot of time obsessing over the opportunities that are being missed, the opportunities that are being lost, the kind of progress that she could make if she just had her freedom. So there's a lot of mourning with that. But even with that, we have this Chariot card, which is about a will to succeed. And when I look at this Chariot and I reflect back at the King of Wands, these are speaking to each other, right? So it's like she's continuing to work on her body. She's continuing to take really good care of herself, because if something does happen, she needs to be able to hit the ground running. She needs to get right back to what she was doing. So she wants to continue to be in, for lack of better words, fighting shape, even though she does spend a lot of time in isolation thinking about what she's losing, you know, the opportunities that she's losing, the ways in which her options are going to be limited and restricted. In the bottom row, we have the King of Swords, the Three of Cups, and the Strength card. I'm going to pull a clarifier over this Three of Cups really quickly, because you guys know that Three of Cups has a lot of meanings to me. Clarify the Three of Cups for me. She's afraid of betrayal. when she talks to her lawyer, she just doesn't talk. She's not only talking to them about strategizing a way to get her out, right? Again, the King of Swords represents the lawyer. It's literally the card of the lawyer or the advisor. And this is somebody who's not just talking to her about her legal case and what they need to do. They also talk to her a lot about her reputation and her representation, how to deal with the media. She carries a lot of fear about either a teammate or a colleague, somebody betraying her with the way that they speak about her. She literally loses sleep over it. We have the Three of Cups, which a lot of people interpret this being hitting milestones and celebration, but this is a gossip card for me. The bitches that are holding these cups up, they're celebrating your downfall. So she does have concern that somebody who, this is somebody that has had to make nice with her professionally, but she deeply knows that they don't want the best for her. So she has a lot of fear about somebody speaking about her in a way that feeds the narrative that she is irresponsible, that she's some kind of drug addict, that she's some sort of narcissistic athlete. She's fearful that somebody under the guise of being close to her, working with her, is going to misrepresent her, right? And specifically in a way to get attention, to toast to her downfall. That is confirmed by the Queen of Cups in reverse, right? Queen of Cups in reverse can be very, very paranoid, right? They're very emotionally unstable. That inability for them to regulate their emotions feeds a deep sense of paranoia within them. And then the Four of Knives in reverse means that she's not sleeping. Like, this is literally something that she stays up at night thinking about. We end with the Strength card. So again, like, there's a lot of waffling back and forth. She has moments where she's very, very strong, where she's very aligned, where she is in deep understanding of who she is, understanding that this is just a small blip in terms of her, who she is. It's not representative of her character. But then late at night, when she's up and can't sleep, she's thinking paranoid thoughts. She's thinking that, at any moment somebody's going to betray her and play into her further in term misrepresentation. And with her not being free, not being able to speak for herself, that is going to have negative consequences. I get that her lawyer, this King of Swords energy, does try to calm her down quite a bit, but it doesn't really do much. It is a topic of conversation that comes back up quite frequently. Short answer to the question of what is her mental state, it's quite up and down. She's fighting. She's fighting to take care of her physical body. She's fighting to keep focused. She's fighting to think about life once she's outside of this facility, outside of these walls. But that's very, very difficult with people around her trying to cut her down to size, trying to throw her mistake in her face over and over again. When you add that to the fact that she is deeply concerned about her career, she's deeply concerned about the time that's being robbed away from her and what that means for her in terms of her being able to have wealth and stability once she leaves. She goes in and out of having a lot of paranoid thoughts, and those paranoid thoughts rob her of her sleep. Yeah, that's unfortunate. I mean, I knew it wasn't going to be a good thing. I mean, she's in a really not great situation, so how can you be overwhelmingly positive? But it does make me sad to know that she's dealing with that kind of, paranoia and loss of optimism, right? I want to now know how her wife is doing. I forget her wife's name, but I want to know how her wife is doing. So let's see if anybody can remember her wife's name, and if you wouldn't mind typing it in the comments for me, I would greatly appreciate that. I'm not good at keeping up with sports stuff, and there was a part of me that was really tempted to read up on both of these people before getting on here, but I wanted this to be authentic. Sherry's baby, it's my turn. You better put some scales or don't say nothing at all, young lady. Other people hit me with some scales. Come through with the scales. Give me some support. Ancestors. What can you tell us at this time about Brittany Griner's wife? How is she doing? How is she holding up? What's going on with her mental, emotional state at this time? Is there anything we need to know about her emotional state or her health that you can illuminate at this time? Okay, see, I wish I hadn't seen that banner question. I'm going to continue to read on these cards, and Houngan, you too much. All right, let's see. Just in what I'm getting from the candle flame as she's enraged. She's gonna hide her rage. She's gonna show up in the world and in front of cameras gracefully. But going back to what I said earlier about Brittany being concerned with being betrayed by people, the wife has witnessed the betrayal. The wife has experienced the betrayal. And that's a huge source of where her anger comes from. Yeah, she's been doing a lot of work to be balanced in public, most definitely. We have her showing up in this reading as both the King and the Queen of Cups, right? So with this King of Cups energy, her knowing that she has to figure out a way to be diplomatic in public, to show herself as being very graceful, very cultured, very equipped at handling something like this, which is insane because most people don't know how to handle having their life partner locked up abroad, right? But she's trying really, really hard to engage in severe emotional regulation, especially in the public, because she knows the cost of, it would cost her and Brittany greatly if she were to show her raw emotions too much in public. So she does a lot of work to anchor that. I would caution her if she's reading this, or not reading this, if she's watching this reading, rather. I honestly do feel like this will come across her eyes. Be careful about, I'm not starting a rumor, I'm not saying you're alcoholic, but if you have been relying on glasses of wine at night more than usual, try to temper and pull that back, right? And again, I don't see you as somebody that has a substance issue, but the leaning on that wine right now is not going to be the best thing for you. She is surprisingly hopeful. We have the Wheel of Fortune card. So she's constantly praying for a miracle. She's praying for a shift in favor. She's praying that the wheel will turn in their favor. She's keeping her hopes up about that. But she is also very lonely. I wouldn't say that they had a codependent relationship. I don't want to go that far, but she definitely relied on Brittany very much for her emotional stability. This was very much her anchor. And so it's really, really hard for her to not have that. And that deep sense of longing, and not having that is really, really difficult for her to navigate and work her way through. In the second row, we have the Star card, the Seven of Cups, and the Seven of Wands. A lot of fighting just to get accurate information. So that's another, and again, that's why the flame is showing me that she's angry. That's a huge part of the anger, right? She's still insistent upon having faith. She's a very prayerful person. She prays a lot. She prayed a lot before this happened, but this has deeply strengthened her relationship to prayer. It has made her grateful for the relationship to prayer that she had before all of this happened. But she's dealing with a lot of confusion. People are giving her false information on purpose, and she knows it's happening, and it's pissing her off. But they're purposely giving her false information. And a lot of the false information is going to have, I hate to say it, but it's going to have a really fucked up impact on Brittany. And that's a huge part of the reason why she's so angry about it. Like, knowing that she's not being told the truth, being able to intuitively see or feel the consequences of that lack of truth is infuriating for her. So it's like she knows that she's being, for lack of better words, gaslit, and it makes her very, very angry. With that, she's still fighting very much to be taken seriously. She's fighting to stand her ground. That's a huge part of what's frustrating her about the confusion and the lack of clarity of the information. A huge amount of it is that it's like that feeling of having somebody lie to you and you know they're lying to you and it's not even a good lie makes you feel disrespected. So a lot of this is for her is about holding her ground and demanding to be given proper and accurate information. She's really, really fighting to be taken seriously, and to be treated like this is something that they're going to work past, right? A lot of what I'm seeing is happening, and that's why she has had to be so prayerful and really lean into her relationship to faith, is that people are trying to talk to her as though she needs to just settle for what is happening, right? There are people that have actively tried to talk her out of fighting the situation, fighting for her wife. And that's insult to injury. It's insult to her intelligence, if that makes any sense. In the bottom row, we have the Ace of Cups. We have the Page of Wands in reverse, and we have the Ten of Pentacles in reverse. Money, I know Ten of Pentacles in reverse is the last card, but I'm gonna start there. Their money is severely going to be impacted. There's no way to get around it. Like, finances are going to be very, very brutal for them for quite some time. And that's showing up in the Ten of Pentacles being in reverse because, you know, their wealth, a lot of what they invested in, they're going to have to release some investments in order to continue the legal fight, right? The Page of Wands in reverse is telling me that, yes, this is a popular topic now, but because media works the way that it does, this is going to fade out very quickly for a lot of people. The concern around the story is going to fade out, right? Right now with the Ace of Cups, they're experiencing a lot of overflow, a lot of interest in what is taking place, but that's temporary. And with the Page of Wands in reverse, this story is going to lose favor over time. And as the story loses favor over time, they're not going to get a lot of the same structural, systemic support that they've been getting. And that is going to cause them to have to release some assets. So, wife she's really struggling. She's really struggling. The weight of this situation on her shoulders is taking a lot out of her. And that is causing her to deal with a lot of emotional instability, but also just a lot of rage, a lot of anger and frustration over what's going on right now. I'm going to have to pause for a moment just because I have a family member that's flying in, and that's what those calls are that are coming in. Houngan, you still there? You with me, Houngan? Can you talk to them for a minute? I will be right back.
Mm-hmm. We'll go ahead and close it out. So anyway, y'all, we have been on live for about 3 fucking hours now, and we've been reading our asses off. So with that being said, make sure that you go to www.blackspectrumnetwork.com and purchase a private psychic reading from one of us. Make sure that you also check out our Discord. In our private Discord, if you go into the description section of the comments, you will see our Linktree link, and you'll be able to access the links to book a private reading. You'll be able to access our private Discord. You'll also be able to access our mentorship application. We are accepting new students into our mentorship programs. Now, if you're wondering what it is that we do in the Discords, we have free mentorships that we offer in the Discord. I post free classes every month. I have free private live streams in the Discord. We also do free rituals and so on and so forth. Those things come as a part of your membership package when you pay to get in the Discord. It's a very private society. You will see me there. You will sometimes see Priestess Ocean from K, Priestess Peach Blossom, and other staff in Black Spectrum Network. We are a very close-knit family in that Discord. And if you are on YouTube or interested in just seeing what it's like to be at Black Spectrum Network, then come in our Discord. It's really that simple. Also, if you want to take free classes from us, go to africanmagicschool.com. Again, go to africanmagicschool.com so that you can take some of our free classes. Now, I want to know, who is your favorite reader? Hit the skull emoji if I was your favorite. Hit the scales if Soleil was your favorite. Let me know. But either way, we're going to get up off of here because it's late as hell, and I'm a little bit tired. Not too tired to do more readings, but I'm just a little bit tired. But anyway, Panda. I got bras in Atlanta. All right, so help me close this out, guys. I leave you all with these words of wisdom from the rapper Dreezy. Gave mercy to these hoes. What would Jesus do? I've been your reader for today, Dr. Quintara Shakir, otherwise known as Houngan, and I want you to remember that the truth is always collaborative. Bye.